Hey everybody, welcome back to the War Room. So today we are going over turns 5 through 8, which is 1941, January, February, March, and April. Alright, so a lot of interesting things have happened. I've had, in turn 5, January from 1941, we had supply issues. All the Italian forces on the front were removed. The Italian surrender rule is very real. It was very powerful. These were the last few guys that were able to come in, and they came in from recruits. I lost all the Italians. If they're not supplied in any way, shape, or form, they go away. But now, in turn 7, that rule is now done. Rommel's on the board. So let me explain. Axis lose the Battle of Mersa Matruh. So because of the Italian surrenders, so we had to backtrack. So we went back to Bardia. We're now in February of 1941. Rommel arrives. Rommel is a badass for a couple of reasons. Well, one, every beginning of every turn, I have to roll 2d6. 4 or less, he goes back and he re-energizes by seeing the Fuhrer. So he does leave the map. He hasn't left the map yet. I've been lucky. All right, but what he does is he allows the exploitation. Normally there's no exploitation. I looked through the rules back and forth. He does better exploitations. He can also, when he's attacking, shift a CRT to the right in your favor, or to the left for the favor of defense. Okay, so that's a really good benefit that he has. I don't know if you can see that okay. Let me see if I can't. I'm sorry if it's a little bit blurry. This camera is not really meant for zooming. It's more of like a YouTube uploading camera, so I apologize. Axis pull back to Bardia. The British take Bardia. At one point, the British, that little red is the Germans. It was green. They took Bardia. Rommel then shows up. All right. Rommel comes in turn 7 of 41, which is March of 1941. Most of that was the movement of units and supply to and from the front line. Okay, we had to reform everything. Like I said, the Italians were gone. These are recruits that showed up. They are out of supply now. They don't follow the Italian surrender rule anymore because Rommel's on the board. And so now they're out of supply. I had to choose, after fighting off the British, to either supply the front and let these guys go, or try to mix it. So I let them go. I'd rather them get hit. I could deal with that later. So that is where we're at right now. So I'm learning very quickly the issues that Rommel may have had is, there's so much space here. You go you use all this map, but getting the supply is a killer. Even the British now, in turn, we're going into May of 41, are having logistical issues with their supply. By turn 7, we are getting more truck supply points. We're getting more air points. We're getting a little bit more of supply dump points as well to feed the troops, but it's just not enough. We have to be very careful on how we attack. All right. The Germans have plenty of supply sitting back at Tripoli. The British don't. They have most of it in Mersa Matruh, but it's only 2 points. It's not going to last forever. But the problem is getting it from there, the Germans that is, getting it from there all the way one side of the map to here. It's like no matter what I do, I can't do it. I don't have enough truck points yet. And you don't get them until you get later into the turn sequences, right? You have to go later into the year. And this is supposed to simulate Rommel having a lot of issues during World War II with Hitler, dealing with the Eastern Front with Russia. This was not the main game, guys. The Africa campaign, I think, was more just a show to see what they could do, because he had this idea of going past the Suez Canal and going up Asia right into the old keister of Stalin to help out with Barbarossa. That was the main focus. Oil supplies and stuff like that. It was too tough because of the war on the East. Imagine that, though. Imagine if Rommel was able to push all the way east and then go north. That would have been a killer. That would have been killer. And then there was also this idea of the Germans meeting up with the Japanese and then also helping, but the Japanese, they never did violate their, I don't think they ever did violate their Russian pact with Russians, because they were interested in the Pacific. The Japanese were just interested in getting their own situations taken care of at the time, and you can't blame them, right? Very, very interesting. The out of supply units you see over here, I don't know what I'm going to do about them, man. Like I said, it's just getting them the supply that they need. See, the problem you got is that these little ports have certain capacities. You can't just dump everything into one area. Now here, my most capacity for Bardia is 1. That's 1 supply point I can send over there, or a unit, depending on what I want to do, right? Maybe I want to drive away the British for a little bit and then take the hit with the supply. For both sides, most of the casualties have been guys who aren't eating. They're losing steps. The Italians, all of them look green. I'm flush with green in the dead area because the Italians aren't eating. I can only get, max 2 at Tobruk? Man, that's tough. That's tough. I got more guys you can't see off board. They're coming in from the west. They're just around the north there from Cyrene. But then that's a new problem. I got more mouths to feed. So when they pile in here, I got to feed them too. But I don't have it. So basically, you got a lot of half-starved, half-hungry Germans and Italians fighting half-hungry, half-starved British. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting game so far, and I've been really liking it, really enjoying it. I'm trying to get other people to get interested in this. What would be really helpful is if we could take Mersa Matruh, which is off screen here just a little bit. If we pull it back just a little bit here, all right, down here, if the Germans can take that, that's another point, possibly. Again, you roll for that every turn. So that point might not be there every turn. I've had it where everybody's 0 or 1, and I've got nothing. You starve. That's all you can do. And here, you got a bunch of British looking to eat too. They got 2 for now. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. That's all I got for you. Stay tuned for the next video. It'll be turn 9 through 13. All right, guys. Have a good night.